Hi everyone, I'm Natalie, your product lead here at Jumbleberry, and I'm here with very exciting news about a new feature that we'd like to bring to you today. Insights. When other platforms are trying to take away their analytics tools and getting scared about being able to give you the data that you need to do your jobs, we are giving it to you. We have an ocean of first-party data that we would love for you to analyze, so we are revealing it to you in Insights. Let's get started, shall we? You will notice over on the sidebar that you have a new tab called Insights. And so you can click it and be brought to our main page here. Let's get started. The first thing that we have to do is build a crowd. And so you can kind of think of a crowd as, remember that ocean of data? You're taking a bucket and you're scooping it into that ocean and saying, I only want to look at this amount of data right now. We have three main constraints that you can build your crowd on: advertiser, campaign, and affiliate. Depending on who you are in our platform, you'll have different access to these different constraints, but everyone has campaigns, because who doesn't love campaigns? They're the heartbeat of our platform. Let's start there. Select your campaign, and from here you can keep going and keep filtering that bucket of data. You can pour out little drips and drops if you want until you get the perfect mix of data that you really want to analyze. So I could keep going and refine again by advertiser, affiliate, funnel, country, lead source, browser, and affiliates. You will love to see your C values down here. You can be prescriptive about what you want to continue to filter by, or you can stop right here, give your crowd a name, and then create your crowd. Here we go. Ooh, so exciting. So every crowd starts off with a baseline. Now this is all the data. This is an average for you to be able to further kind of compare the different audience segments that you will build later to an average, so you can have an understanding of that score. All right, so we have our bucket of data. Now what do? We're going to pour that bucket into little cups so we can continue to analyze it further. And this is what we call audience. You're cutting up your big data into smaller little segments to be able to analyze further. Let's build an audience. You'll see again that we have the same attributes that you can define your audience as the same as the crowd filters that you had. So advertiser, affiliate, funnel, country, lead source, and those amazing little C values down here. Let's start by looking at all the lead sources on this campaign. Let's see if there's something interesting there. So we have a huge other lead source. Throw that in. I'm going to make another one with TikTok, create audience, and let's make another one with Facebook, create audience. Great, we just made 3 audiences. So now we're looking at all the lead sources within that campaign. We have here now every event that is in every funnel that is in this campaign. And every event has certain metrics that can be shown to you. We start with users. This is the unique amount of people that have come to this event. Then we go to time on page, the amount of time that each unique user has spent on that page. Scroll depth, the amount that they've scrolled through your page. And continue rate. This is an interesting one. So because we had to amalgamate a whole bunch of different funnels together, what continue rate means here is the amount of users that were on this event that went to any next event in their funnel. So if we have the continue rate 7.9 here and 12 here, that means even though there might be different funnels between these two audience segments, this is still performing a lot better. And in general, we have a heat map here to kind of draw your eyes to the most performant parts. The darker the purple, the better it's performing. This is also why our crowd baseline becomes important, because we want to compare how the average of all of the data in our crowd is doing to the tiny segments that we've lopped out. Here down in our purchase event, we'll find some different metrics. So let's take a look. We have earnings per user. This is the amount of your earnings in that audience segment divided by the number of unique users that also appear in that audience segment. We can see that Google here is pretty close to our baseline, so it must be performing pretty well. And the next is average order value. This is only enabled for purchase pixels that give us order value. So a purchase pixel would have to have order value enabled to be able to track this metric. Let's show you what that looks like. I have a crowd all set up here. So I search within my saved crowds. Now let's take a look at AOV in that purchase. And here we have it. We can see the average order value for each audience segment. Wow, looks like Facebook and Instagram are really killing it. Let's do a little bit of a deep dive on that. We can toggle over to demographics. And now we'll be able to see every single attribute as it pertains to each of those audience segments. So for instance, funnels, lead sources, we get a quick sanity check on here. And then we can see it complexed with countries, device types, other platforms, browsers. There's a lot here. Let's look at what else we can do with audience segments. Let's make a complex audience segment. We can chain as many attributes as we want as we make any audiences. So we thought that Facebook segment looked a little bit interesting. Let's go into it a little bit further. We'll start by selecting Facebook as our first attribute in our segment. And then let's see how the countries are doing. So within that Facebook segment, it looks like we have a lot of people in the United States. Let's put those two things together, give it a name, and create the audience. Now, I also want to make where we have Facebook, and let's say Sweden. Need to give it a name. It's helping me out. And let's make one more with Facebook and Ireland. Great. Now I have complex segments that I can compare to my base. This is getting a little bit noisy though, so let's turn off the ones that we don't want. Select the eye icon if you want to hide any of the segments. They'll remain here in case you want to put them back in, but this at least gives you a little bit more of a precise view on the chart, so it doesn't get so noisy for you. Now that we have more complex audience segments set up, we're ready to analyze. So here we go. Let's go through our events and see what we can see. We have Facebook that we identified as fairly performant from our last little investigation. And so we broke it down by countries, and I also included Instagram here in the same country region. Interesting right off the bat that Instagram is a clear winner, even on the whole campaign baseline. We probably want to invest a little bit more at the top of the funnel here. And as we go through, we can make these comparisons, always checking against the crowd baseline, checking against where we see the darkest colors, where it draws our eyes, to see what is performing the best at what point in the funnel. Down at our purchase, we see that by far, Instagram has engaged people the most. So if we're really looking for that kind of engagement score, if we're trying to double down on that, we want Instagram. It also seems to be a comparable winner to all of the other Facebook traffic as well in AOV. So there you have it. You can keep comparing anything to anything. You can build very complex audience segments and just chain these attributes to your heart's content. Make any audience that you want and digest that data. So what are you waiting for? Start using this feature. We're so excited to hear what you think about it. Please reach out with any feedback, and I guess I'll see you next time.